Right, guys, while I was just tying them up, those runnies that I did earlier on, I I started to think I might do one of these for a solid bag down there, because I've got quite good terms with a guy down here that's got a tackle shop, and he fished it for years, and he's had majority of good ones out of there. He's had some nice fish out of there. I think biggest he's had about £44. But he's had that grass carp as well, but a smaller weight. I think it were just about 30 something when he had it. But he's had some nice fish out of there. But he's had a hell of a lot of upper 20s and quite a few fairs out of meadow. But he said to me, he says, "Are you fishing it?" So I told him, and he says, "Yeah, that's a good way of fishing it." He says, "And if you're confident in it, then definitely go that route, like." So I got talking to him a bit more, and I said, "How are you fishing it?" So he said, I fished solid bags." He says, "But the weed weren't like it is now." I was explaining to him, weed is absolutely shocking. It was shocking to the point that people think you can use solid PVA bags in heavy weed, and sometimes it ain't the way to go. I'm telling you now, you're casting a solid bag, it's going straight through that amount of weed. They will find it eventually, but it'll take them time to find it. Don't forget you're on there for 48 hours, so you want a clear spot. So that's what I explained to him. So he said to me, he said, "Did you find a clear spot last time you went down?" I said, "Yeah, I found a lovely clear spot." I said, "I found several clear spots while I was down there, beautiful spots. I found a few nice traps as well, a few that are, I wish would have fished now, that were like my style of fishing. I love trap fishing, where there's a little area the size of a rig box, or a small rig box, or a plate. Really tiny area, but you can tell that carp had been feeding on it, to the point that I put the lead on the surface of the water and I counted it down in feet at the bottom, and it was about 6 inch deeper, just that small section. So carp had been feeding it. It must have been a bloodworm bed or something like that earlier on it, yeah. But I saw a fish actually bosh over that area, and it was a fucking good fish. You know a good fish where it sounds like somebody's chucked a fucking bag of sand outside of a boat. Not the little what you get early in the morning. I'm talking proper rate. And I saw that twice while I was on there. Big. One of them was the biggest fish I've seen in a very, very long time. Well, since fish or mill. Massive fish, probably bigger than what I'd seen Bashar or Mill, to be honest with you. Huge fish. So and that come clear out of water, and it come out and just, and it was like someone had chucked a bag of sand over the edge of water. So he said to me, he says, get a PVA bag, find a clear spot. He says, and get a KD rig, or he says, "I'm having really good success at minute on Ronnie's tied short with a smaller piece of a rig putter." He says, "Or I use a short." I said, "I use shorts," and all I still use shorts. I do. So he says, try one." He says, "Honestly," he says, "try it shorter." He says, "Inside a PVA bag on a clear spot." He says that with a piece of rig foam on. He says, "And I think you'll have it. I think you'll nail one." He says. So we got talking, and we both agreed that the reasoning behind the higher pop, the pop up being higher. So I was saying to him, I said to him, my thinking behind it is, when I fish a pop up that is higher off the deck, which is sometimes 2.5 to 3 centimeters off the deck, now most people would be thinking, "Fucking hell, that's nearly enough a zig rig." No. It's nowhere near a zig rig, not to a big frame fish. Even a 20-pounder, 20-pound fish has got a big frame, and the frame of a 20-pounder really, it's a nice big frame. So if you look at a carp, when you go out on the mat, lay it on its side so its dorsal's facing up, like it would be swimming, and look at how high its mouth is off the floor, and you will notice that its mouth is off the floor at least, probably round about 5, sometimes 6 inch, depending on the size of the fish. So that means that if the fish is hugging the bottom of the lake, it is always 5 or 6 inch off the ground. So by fishing a pop-up that is 3 centimetres off the deck, that carp is looking down on that rig. So it's seen it as a bottom bait, and I'm telling you now honestly, I fish bottom baits, but I'm going to start doing a hell of a lot of bottom bait rigs soon, and the bottom bait rigs I'm going to tie, they're going to be old school rigs. They're blowback rigs. I'm not into all that fancy Nancy stuff what Fox are doing and all that. I'm into a blowback rig, and just a simple knotless knot, KD, knotless knot, but the air pulled back in a KD style, so it kicks that hook out. So I'm going to do a lot more of that. But that's my way of thinking on an higher pop-up section, and I'm convinced that the hinge rig is called the big fish. It's called, in any book you read that Terry Aaron writes, he calls this, if it's the hinge rig, the big fish rig, and that's what it's known as, the big fish rig. The reason it's the big fish rig is because it is fished higher off the deck, and those fish are coming in, they've got a bigger frame, they can't see, they're looking down on it, and they're picking it up, and they're getting hooked. And it's reason I always pick bigger fish up at Langworth. It ain't often I have a small fish at Langworth, and a lot of people have asked me why is that the case, and I tell them, and they're I always tell people, if you ask me, I always tell them, it's not very often I'm secretive about stuff. I'm secretive about stuff when I start fishing places like Treeton, and I've just dropped on there, and I saw fish that I saw in Treeton, and when I got on there I was secretive, but now anyone else asks me anything about Treeton, I'll tell them. It is not, the whole art of Treeton is being able to fish in weed. If you can fish in weed, you'll slaughter it. That's the reason. Dean Riley, and I've done so well this year on there, to be honest with you. There's a couple of lads down there now that are doing well on there as well. But next year I'm back on there. I'm gonna have another. I'm gonna have a go on it through winter. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? It's a lovely place. I'm gonna have a go on it through winter and see if we can have a few of them out. See if they've gone that nice dark black colour again. I know where they are. I've found them already. So next winter I'm back on. Next spring I'm back on there, but I will also be doing a bit through winter. So if you're down there, I'll see you down there, guys. Laters.